Sophia Cruz with the Idaho News 6 forecast.
Hey, good morning, everybody. 6:48 is your time, and Jitters by Jane is such a good spot to check out in downtown, especially if you're waking up and wanting an iced coffee this morning. If you don't get one this morning, maybe some iced coffee into the afternoon just as a nice little pick-me-up. Not going to be a time for hot coffee. Temperatures sitting in those upper 80s and lower 90s. You also have those mid-70s and lower 80s following in those mountains, so just going to make for a very comfortable day there. But again, we are heating up into next Monday and Tuesday, and with that, we're going to be looking at our chances for some wildfires and really just that elevated risk for them. First thing that we're going to be talking about that we're looking into next week is our low relative humidity values, which is just a really good indicator of how dry or saturated our air is. When this drops below 30%, generally that means we have some pretty dry air near the surface. This combined with very hot weather, which we're expecting next week, those triple digits where we'll be sitting, but even towards those lower 90s, we could possibly see this. Combining that, and just a cherry on top, really, gusty winds. Now, we're not necessarily going to have a gusty week ahead of us, but we will look at some chance for some thunderstorms, which the outflow gusts could produce, again, with all these combinations combined, that chance for some fire danger. So again, make sure you have some ways to get updates, especially now that we are heading into our wildfire season together. Take a look at this. We've got those upper 80s into our Saturday, so you've got some time before that real heat builds in. You've got mid-90s into Sunday, and then those temperatures skyrocket into next week with 100 degrees expected into Monday. If your area doesn't hit 100 in those valley floors, it certainly will be in those upper 90s, and that pattern kind of just stretches through our next week ahead. So again, prepare for a very hot week. That again combined with that very hot and dry air near the surface. Take a look at our relative humidity values. They drop and dip below 30%, almost hovering just a little between 7 to 8% area wide. So it's very, very dry air combined with hot conditions, which aren't the best ingredients that we really need. So again, make sure you do have a way to get updates. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but that's going to be really important heading into the next week. What we look at happen here is this ridge amplify over the Pacific Northwest. As it does, that brings us our increase in temperatures, but right off to really to our south and into California, they'll be looking at this Pacific low come in. And so what this does for us is it increases that mid-level moisture and brings in those clouds that we'll see, but also produce some high base thunderstorms. So again, those conditions combined could make for a very risky Monday for us. So again, just make sure you are staying up to date on weather wear as we head into the weekend and next week. We do still have time before we hit those triple digits, however. You've got upper 80s into Saturday, then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. The hot weather begins with triple digits and upper 90s expected. Good news is we have a little time before them, but it is also our Thursday morning. If you're getting ready to head out, let's go take a look at your road.